Hey everyone, it's Jeff here from the Microsoft Foundry team, and I'm so excited to give you all a tour of what is new with the Microsoft Foundry hosted agent offering. It's now generally available. So I'm going to give you a glimpse of how I like to use hosted agents and why I feel this is the best platform in the world to build your enterprise-grade, long-running, secure, and governed agents for any scenario. So the scenario I'm going to walk you through here in a few minutes is actually something I want to be connected to contracts that my organization might be building so that it can understand the details of the contracts, help do contract risk assessment, and even take proactive action on behalf of users in my organization. Now, one of the best places that you can start when you're getting started with Microsoft Foundry is actually the new GitHub Copilot app. This is an agent developer environment. I have actually configured this right now with the Foundry skills that you can find on GitHub. So that means that I can come right in here to the GitHub app and I can say, hey, I need to build an agent. In this case, I want it to be a contract risk assessment agent. Point it to some of the context that it needs, whether that's an MCP server, or in my case, I want all of the business context in my organization. So I'm connecting it to Microsoft Work IQ so that it has access to Teams messages, emails, calendar information. All of this can now be loaded in with that Microsoft Foundry skill to help create for me the agent and even help me to get this published and running in the cloud. Now, Microsoft Foundry hosted agents works with any framework and any language that I might want. So after running through the GitHub Copilot app, you can see here in Visual Studio Code, here's my Python Microsoft Agent Framework agent. I can actually use the Foundry Toolkit right inside of Visual Studio Code if I want to debug and test this all locally before I deploy it, set breakpoints, modify the logic, whatever I might need to do, get access into the traces. And once I'm ready to go, I could go ahead and deploy this right from Visual Studio Code as well. Okay, so I've shown you how I can author and test the agent. Now let's see what it looks like in action. So if I actually switch over here to Microsoft Foundry, here now is that agent that I started creating in the GitHub Copilot app a few bits ago. A few things here I want to call out. There's a bunch of information that I get out of the box. The first is every single agent that I deploy inside of Foundry gets its own agent identity. This means that I can manage access on behalf of permissions and governance automatically. I don't have to do any extra work to wire that up. Now, this agent I mentioned has to connect to various different tools like MCP sources and Work IQ. Well, to do that, I've actually integrated it with Microsoft Foundry Toolbox. This is now also generally available. This does a few great things for me. It's a single spot for me to govern and manage all of my tools. It even comes with this tool search capability where I can surface only the relevant tools for my specific task, which helps me save a huge amount of tokens in my context window. I can set guardrails and policies. In this case, I want to make sure while I'm working with contracts, I don't want any personally identifiable information to go back to the agent or back to the user. So I've gone ahead and set a guardrail here. All of this can be accessed through my agent through a single MCP compatible endpoint. So that's how I'm using Toolbox with this agent that we developed earlier so that I have access to that contract information and Work IQ. Now, the other thing I love here, let's go ahead and kick off this agent and ask it a task. This isn't just about doing simple chat-based applications. I can build long-running and durable agents inside of Foundry hosted agents. So for example here, I'm actually not asking it to just answer a question. I want it to build for me an auto-renewal watch list. I want this to have an agent that can check contracts as they're being created, what might need necessary action, and then proactively take action. Now, why this is able to work is because for every single one of these runs of Foundry agents, it's spinning up for me my own secure serverless sandbox. We will maintain and persist all of the state of this session so that as my agent needs to do additional work, as I want to run whatever harness I want to run, it's able to do so. Now, it's also able to integrate with capabilities like routines. What routines enable me to do is create a heartbeat or proactive tasks so that my agent can actually take action on my behalf. So in this case, it will actually go and set up a routine for me to make sure that it's checking when contracts might need to be renewed. So this just gives you an example of the type of patterns that you can now do inside of Foundry hosted agents. Now, what I love here, you can see it answered this question in creating this thing. Just by building in Foundry, I get so much rich information that helps me as a builder. I can see exactly what steps were taken by this agent to answer the question, what tools were called, what were the responses that came back. Now, not only is this helpful for debugging, this is all knowledge. This is all data that can help improve my agent over time, because I want my agent to compound. I want all of the intelligence that is being captured here through traces and responses to actually feed back into the agent to make it better. Well, we make that easy for you as well, because with Foundry, we have the new optimization service. Let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and open up this optimization job that I ran a little bit ago. What we were able to do is we looked at all of those historic traces, and using that information actually generated some potential candidates of a different flavor of my agent. Maybe it's using a different model. Maybe it has different system prompts. Maybe it's configuring the tools. All of this is able to then run through. And in this case, it's like, hey, we actually think we can get a 3% better quality score for your agent, in this case, by making some changes to the system prompt. So I could go ahead and see the changes that it's suggesting. And once I'm ready, you can actually see I've gone ahead and deployed this. So my agent, just by running, by people interacting with it, I can actually compound that intelligence back into the agent and get better over time. Now, it's not just about development with Microsoft Foundry either. Think about governance and control. Every single agent that I'm building here inside of Foundry automatically gets registered inside of Agent 365. This is now my one-stop shop for any agent workload running across my entire organization. I didn't have to do any extra work here to get these Foundry agents to show up. They'll just show up here in Agent 365. I can click through. I can understand the security, the different pieces that might be happening, if some of those guardrails are being triggered, all right here, automatically configured. And I also can easily make these agents available to other people within my enterprise. Every agent that I build inside of Foundry, I can easily publish into Microsoft Teams and Microsoft 365 Copilot. So that means that it's not just me accessing it through this web portal. I can actually jump over here to the Microsoft 365 app. Here is now my contract risk agent. If I want to ask it one of my questions, I can go ahead and do so right now. So at the fingertips of everyone in my organization, I can take these long-running, secure, and durable agents. So Microsoft Foundry is the best place as you are finding ways to bring agents and AI into your applications, into your enterprise, to accelerate those valuable business insights, doing so in a secure and reliable way, built entirely on Azure, connected to Microsoft IQ, optimizing itself with traces, all governed through Agent 365. Cannot wait to see what you all build with the new hosted agents that are generally available. Be sure to check out the documentation inside of Microsoft Learn to see how you can get started today. Thank you so much for watching.